You know, I'm comfortable anywhere. I trained for the last, 10, 11 weeks to fight one of the best in the world. So if the fight goes to the ground, I'm comfortable there. If it stays on his feet, I'm comfortable as well. I've made a lot of improvements in the last year or so, in my striking in particular, and I feel good and sharp, and I'm going to be doing my best to show off those skills on Saturday night.
What?
That's what it came out to me. The last fight, you were really kind of focused coming off the Koscheck Congo fight and all the rest of them. How are you feeling kind of coming into this one as a psyche and the mindset?
More intense than it was last time. Like, I can't, you don't really think that I'm sitting here like, Lavar. So, like, every fight is the next big fight. It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss beforehand, or if it's a title fight or the first fight of the undercard. Every fight is the next big fight. Winning is the goal. Winning is the key. So, I mean, every fight is way more important than the previous one. And this fight with Lavar is going to be a lot bigger. I mean, it's more intense. It's more focused than the fight with Christian Moorcraft, which was bigger than Stephen Struve, bigger than Koscheck Congo. I mean, you go all the way down the line. Like, every next test is the next biggest test. Everything is a make or break.
Awesome. And one quick question. Since I already have tickets and everything like that, I was wondering if you could fulfill a crazy request. It's kind of my dream to walk out with one of the guys to one of the fights. Is there any way to make that happen?
What guy?
Any of them. I got huge respect for everybody that steps in the octagon, so it doesn't bother me. I'm a fan of everybody that's up there right now.
Well, it's up to these guys. Jim Miller said yes, you can walk out.
Yeah, Mr. Miller.
Would you take care of this gentleman and get his information for me, please? Come on up here, buddy. Come on over to the corner of the stage here. Don't everybody start asking out, can I sit with Ariani? Can I go over here and do this?
No, I'm not surprised, that last performance wasn't the best, but, as a fighter, you have good performances and you have bad ones, and I plan on making Saturday night a good one, so when I get to put Johnny to sleep in front of you guys on Fox, you guys are going to go crazy, so there'll be no booing after that. It's going to be a lot of cheers.
The shooting is done and over with. I'm healed up. There's nothing wrong with me, so I'm through with that, and just being able to fight is a blessing itself, and to be here in the UFC, I can't ask for much more.
And man, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get any questions, but I'll just kind of tell you guys how I'm feeling right now. This fight's huge for me, and I know my opponent is very, very, very dangerous with the leg locks. And I am pretty nervous, pretty worried going into this fight, but that's going to make me very confident to win. So I feel like I'm going to put on a show this Saturday, show the world that I'm the best in the division, and I can't wait.
Actually, all these guys sitting up here at this dais right now, one of the things that you guys have heard me talk about for years was the model that I felt made boxing big back in the day. ABC's Wide World of Sports used to have the big fights on Saturday nights on free TV where millions of people could watch. And the way that we look at these box cards is we run these box cards like pay-per-views. All the fights mean something. All the guys are in some type of position, to get into those top spots. This is a big fight for all these guys on the card tonight, especially the guys that are on the main card. It's a big deal. So I don't know if I answered your question, but the answer is yes. All the guys who win on Saturday night, it's a big deal for their career, and everything else that goes along with being in this profession. This card is stacked. The first thing I want, and what I always want, whether we're on free TV or we're on pay-per-view, is you want exciting fights with exciting fighters. And the one thing that I can always say, over the last 11 years that we've been in this business, it's a partnership between us and the fighters. And basically, we go out, we do all the bells and whistles and grow the sport and do what we do. And when these guys step in on Saturday night, they deliver. What people want to see is people want to see exciting fights. People want to see, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing boxing, but boxing became this thing where these guys would go in there and do everything they could to avoid a fight for 12 rounds so that they could pull off a decision and move on to the next big payday. And one of the things when I started to see this transition and this shift was when this guy named Arturo Gatti was fighting and would lose, yet sign another huge deal with HBO. because people didn't care whether he won or lost. It was how he fought and the way that this guy would go in and fight these wars and pull off upsets when it looked like he was going to lose. And it was all the drama and the excitement of a guy who went in and fought like the old school guys fought. And that's literally what these guys have delivered for the last 11 years in the UFC. And it's the reason that we're standing here today and have a deal on Fox. You never know. When you put enough good guys on a card, you're bound to get great fights. I don't see Barry and Lavar going the distance. This fight here is either he's going to keep it standing and try not to go to the ground, he's going to try to go to the ground and rip his leg off. Okay? One of those things is going to happen. These two guys are both great wrestlers with knockout power. Who knows what's going to happen? On paper, these are all great fights. These two, if this fight sucks, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, these two are going to go in there and go at it. For 1 round or 5 rounds, they're going to go. So, I believe that this card is great. We designed this card to stylistically match up to be a great fight, and every one of these fights means something in these guys' career and in the sport.